What's up guys? In today's video we're going to be installing the Steeda jacking rails on my 2013 Focus ST. These also will work with a regular Focus like an SE, and they also work for the RS. And these are the bolt-in rails. They do make a weld-in set, but I do not have a welder, so obviously I'm not going to be doing that. And that also is probably going to take a little longer and require a little bit more preparation. So I just paid the little bit of extra money for these here, and you can see they've got holes in them there, and these align completely with factory holes, so you do not need to do any drilling. And I'm really excited to put these in because jacking up a lowered car is obviously a pain, and with these you'll be able to just slide them in there and you can jack up the whole side of the car with just one point right in the middle. This rail will follow the pinch weld, and you can jack the car up from any point along this rail, which is going to be extremely convenient, you know, for changing tires, rotating them, doing anything under the car. And you can see I have my other set of wheels there, so I have to swap back and forth, you know, from my winter wheels to other wheels. Just it'll make it so much easier when you work on your car a lot. And also the previous owner of my car did not take care of the pinch welds, and they were pretty mangled up when I bought it, and they started to get a little rusty. So I was like, I don't really want to jack the car up from those anymore and mess them up any more than they already are. So a while ago I cleaned them off and sprayed some undercoating on them, and now I'm just going to put these jacking rails in and just use these from now on. So the tricky part with these is you can't jack the car up from the pinch welds because that'll get in the way from you installing these. So there is another weld here underneath the car that you can use to support the car, and it is this one right along there. It is thinner, so there's a chance it bends if you don't have it properly supported, but I'm just gonna put my jack stand right there. If it bends a little bit, you know, I don't care. This car's not in pristine condition anyways. If you don't want to do that, you can try to lift it from the subframe or something more that direction. But that's where you'll have to lift the front of the car. And I'm just going to lift it with a jack on the pinch weld, and then I'm going to put my jack stand there. And then whenever we're done, we'll just use the new jacking rails to take the car off. And then back here, you actually can still use the pinch weld. You can see, if it'll focus in here, you can see my pinch welds are pretty mangled up. So after I get these jack rails installed, I'm probably going to try to straighten them out. But you can still lift the car. You just got to use the outside edge of your jack along here as far back as you can get. Or what I might do is just jack the car up from the rear here, from this point on the rear subframe area. That is not a factory jacking point, but I've seen a ton of other people do it, and I've always done that. You can see it has a few marks on it from jacking it up, but that should not cause any issues. Like if you can't jack the car up from there, then you've got a problem. So that's probably how I'm going to lift the rear, and then I'll just put some jack stands back here to keep it nice and safe, and then we'll get started on the installation. So the car is all jacked up, and I have the jacking rails out of the packaging. You can see I went ahead and I guess you can maybe see it over there, but I sanded off some of the rust with a wire wheel on a drill, and then sprayed some undercoating underneath my car on some of that rust, just to get it taken care of before I put these on and they get in the way. And then they come with the hardware here that you need to install them. So it'll go under a brace in there, and then there's also some holes that you'll put these like up inside, and then these bolts will go through and bolt into these, and these will like basically clamp it into the chassis. And then same thing with these, and it comes with the bolts there. But to get started with the installation, you are going to need to remove these plastic covers here, and it should just be 3 10mm bolts. You've got one here at the front, one here on the side, and then one up inside of here. So you should just be able to get all of those out and pull these covers off, and then that'll give us more room to work in here. And then as far as the front goes, you see there's this brace running along this direction. So what you'll want to do is take off the two the bolts that are on the outside, but you leave the two bolts in the middle. You leave those on, so you don't want to take the brace completely off, but just take off this bolt here and this bolt here enough so that you can move this down to actually put it underneath there. So I've got these zip ties here. I'll have to cut those off, and then I'll show you how you put in the jacking rails and bolt them in with that hardware that they gave you. So what we're going to do in the rear is take this bigger piece here, and you'll take it and put it up through this bigger hole and then align it up in there just like that. And then whenever you have the brace aligned, you'll just take this bolt here and put it up through there and screw it in, and that will hold the jacking rails in place. As for the front, you'll take this piece here, and it'll be out of these three holes. It's going to be this middle one, and you just push it up through and it will fit like that. And you'll kind of want it centered so that it actually pulls down on the chassis evenly and isn't that it's not like this, because you know if it slips off you want it to be like actually pulling on the chassis like that. And then you are good to go to take the jack rail, and this will be hard to show you with one hand, but you'll slide it in like that, and you can see one bolt will go through the brace hole, and then the other one is going to go right there through that bolt that we just slid in. And then you'll just go to the rear and slide the bolt, put that up there and slide the bolt through and thread it into that nut that we put up in there earlier, and then you're ready to tighten it all down. So here they are all installed. You can see going all the way down there, and it is bolted in, and then up here it is also bolted in, and you can see it kind of sticks down a little bit farther than the stock side skirt, which is good because I have aftermarket side skirts that I will install here, and then it still allows you to see this. And I can see this being useful for, you know, some of those guys who are static, and if your car is going to be hitting the ground a lot, this can protect the frame, and it'll kind of take most of the damage because it does hang pretty much lower than anything else other than my broken heat shield that somehow got destroyed and is like barely hanging on. But other than that, I really like where they mount. You can see they don't go as far all the way to the factory pinch welds, so you know, if you wanted to put a jack stand there, there's still plenty of room, but you can just actually jack the car up from here. But I think I'll pretty much be sticking to using this. There's space under it. You can see I can fit my hand, and then there's this piece that was welded on here that kind of keeps it from bending up. But I think it is a great addition to the car. I'm probably not going to, I'm going to have some other work to do, so I'm not going to take it off of the jack stands in this video, but I can assure you, you can definitely jack the car up from this, and it is much better than having to find a pinch weld each time. If you're really low, it does come a little lower, so it might be harder to fit a jack under, but for me, I'm probably going to end up raising my car anyways to fit some bigger tires on it and stuff. So for me, this is a perfect mod. I think every Focus owner needs this if you're going to be working on your car a lot, because it just makes it 10 times easier to get the car off the ground with just two. You just got to jack it up twice, and then you can throw some jack stands under it and call it good. Or if you're rotating your tires or doing a simple tire change, all it takes is just a jack under one spot. You can get both sides up in the air completely safe, and you know, there you go. So I'm going to go ahead and install the other one, but obviously you don't need to see that. It's a super easy install. I'm sure you could do both of them within an hour, and it's super easy. Comes with everything you need, no drilling. So I would highly recommend this mod to anyone who you know, will have your car up in the air often. But that is pretty much it for this video. Please leave a like and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at Nickjoenap, and I will see you in the next video.